everyone. A good evening if you're joining with me live time. And if not, hello and welcome from wherever you are and whatever time of the day you're joining me here. Welcome to the Asana Sana Yoga Studio. My name is Sana, and tonight here we are doing our live late night yoga. So every Thursday night we'll have a late night yoga. If you're just a night owl or you're maybe a late sleeper or you have that schedule that keeps you up late at night, we have this flow here for you that'll keep it cooling and calming so you can relax yourself into a restful evening. In order to do this class, you really don't need a lot of props. As always, I always recommend have at least 2 yoga blocks and a strap if you need for extra help. But this is your practice, so if you would like to add any more props, such as pillows or bolsters, you're right. Go ahead and you're welcome to do so as well. Also, don't forget to have a bottle of water nearby, just in case you might get a little thirsty during class. Now, with all that said, let's get started. Today's posture will be standing today. We'll be starting off on standing. If you need to modify, please join us with doing our seated poses. If you need to sit in a chair, that's totally great. And let's get started. We're just going to come into the middle of the mat right here. And before we get started, all we're going to do is just ground ourselves here. So we just take a stand on the mat, feet planted firmly. Make sure all corners of your feet are flat down. You want to make sure you're not blocking out your knees, but you don't need to stand so rigid and so hard. Right now, we're just going to close our eyes or look gently, softly at the ground and just take 5 deep welcoming breaths before we get started in our flow. Here we are. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's do 5 of those. Make sure you're filling up your belly when you do them as well. Maybe hold it at the top. Exhale. Let's do a few more of those. Two more. Remember to pause at the top. Exhale. Last one. Make it a good one. Excellent. And if at any time during this warm-up you should feel the music is flowing, you feel free to sway to the music as we start to warm up our muscles in our body. And I think you're thinking, why would we need to warm up? It's starting near midnight. Why not? Well, if you've been sitting all day or if you've been sitting for a longer period of time, it's nice to get the blood moving before we start going into a flow. So definitely start swaying back and forth. Maybe move your arms. Let's try some windmill arms. Remember to breathe, and you're welcome to do this part with your eyes closed if you like, or a soft focus. Excellent. Okay, let's slow ourselves down as we come to center. Let's inhale our arms up into the air, and then exhale them down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, let's come down. All right, let's inhale. Let's keep our hands kind of halfway and bring them to the front. From here, let's take our right arm. We're going to flip it upside down. Using our left hand, let's gently bring our hand down so we can stretch out our wrist. And let's hold here for 3 deep breaths. So, last one. Inhale. All right, let's release the arm. Just roll out that wrist a little bit. Let's do the same on the other side. Left hand, flip it upside down, grabbing the fingertips gently with the right hand, pulling it in to stretch out the wrist. 3 deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And here's the last one. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Excellent. Let's roll our wrists out. You can do both sides too. A little itchy. All right. Now that we have our hands in front of us, let's take our right arm, crossing it across the front. We're going to take our left, gently guide that right arm across the chest. Let's hold here for a few breaths as we stretch out our right shoulder. Just breathe. In through the nose, through the mouth. Let's do two more. Excellent. Let's bring our arms out. Let's cross our left over our chest using our right arm to stretch. 3 breaths. Excellent. Let's bring our arms down, shake them out just a little bit. And then we're going to bring our right arm up into the sky. Inhale, bending that arm. We're going to exhale, gently stretching it over with the left. Let's hold here for 2 more breaths. In which each exhale, make sure you pull your arm just a little bit deeper so you get that good shoulder stretch. Last one, let's make it count. Excellent. Release your arms. Let's do the same with the left. So inhale, up to the sky. Exhale, bending it down. Stretch that left shoulder blade. Hold here for 2 more breaths. Oh, this feels really nice already. Release. Excellent. Great. From here, we're going to inhale. And let's exhale, turning to the left. Side stretch. And only go as far as your body will allow you at the moment as we hold here for a few more breaths. Remember, this is just a warm-up, so you don't need to owl yourself all the way around. Last inhale, coming to the center. Let's exhale, turn to the right. Wonderful. Let's hold here for 2 more breaths. Remember to keep your knees unlocked. Keep your legs nice and loose. Inhale, let's come to center. Let the arms down and shake them loose. From here, we're going to put our arms on our waist. Inhale, let's send our right arm up into the sky. Exhale as we side stretch. Try to keep yourself parallel. You can push your hips just a little bit, but you just really want to keep that stretch. Let's do one more inhale, exhale. And on our last exhale, let's come to center, switching arms. Right arm on our hip. Exhale, let left arm comes over. Ooh, this feels really nice. Remember, it's very important to keep your knees unlocked. Keep yourself nice and loose. We're just stretching. Exhale, coming down. Wonderful. All right, let's loosen up our ankles right before we get into our asana. So we're just going to reach our foot a little bit forward and just rotate the ankle a couple of times. Clockwise. And then we're going to switch it the other way. Very good. Let's bring our foot back down, get centered. Now let's do it with the other leg. So clockwise, counterclockwise, doesn't matter which direction you go first. And from here, now let's go the other direction. Excellent. Very, very good. All right. Now I hope you're nice and warmed up because if you are, we are certainly going to get started with our flow. So we're going to stay here right in the middle of the mat. We're going to do things a little bit differently than our regular sun salutations because like I said, this is an evening flow. So we're going to keep it nice and cooling for the body and kind of help you stay relaxed, getting ready for your evening, keeping you in that mellow mood so you're not ready to run around in circles at midnight. So from here, let's start with our proper alignment. We're going to start with hip width apart. Now, you can either hip width apart by using your hands to kind of put them on your hip bones, seeing where your feet should line up, or what I like to do is just take a fist, kind of eyeball it. So you want your feet to be on the either side of your fist. It's kind of a loose approximation. It doesn't have to be perfect, of course. From here, we want to make sure our body is situated over our ankles, so not too far forward and not too far back. You want to, coming up the body, we want to make sure our knees are nice and loose. You don't want to be, you can have a little bit of a bend in your knees, but you don't want to lock out your knees. That's certainly for sure. From here, we want to make sure that our pelvis is parallel to the floor. So imagine that our pelvis is a bowl. Now stand to the side for your benefit. Imagine a pelvis is a bowl. If you have a seam or if you're just looking, you want to make sure that your bowl is parallel to the floor. So keep that natural tuck in here. And then once we're moving up to our ribs, we want to ensure that our ribs are pushed down and situated over our hip bones. And then from here, moving up to our shoulders, we want to roll our shoulders up and back, bending our shoulder blades down our back and keeping our shoulders back instead of rounding forward. A lot of times when we're on the phone, we will, if we're looking at our phone all day, we'll sit in kind of this hunch position. So what we want to do is just remove the hunch from our body, bringing our ribs down so that we're not overarching ourselves here. And then when we have our head, we just want to push our head gently back so that our ears are situated over our shoulders as well. So now we're in that good, proper alignment. All right, feet hip width apart, standing here in mountain pose. We're going to inhale our hands up to the sky. And then exhale, we're going to just side stretch one to our right side. Let's inhale, coming back up to center. Exhale, we're going to side stretch over to our left side. From here, let's inhale, coming back up to center. Exhale, we're going to drop down into a goddess squat. From here, we're going to inhale, come up 5-pointed star. And then let's take a look at our right foot. We're going to turn our right foot out towards the right side, sending our hips over to the left. Inhale, we're going to exhale, bringing our hands down to the floor. And if you need a block at this time, I highly recommend you want to put on the inside of your foot. We're going to rest down here, coming into triangle pose. And from here, we're going to inhale, turning that back foot as we bring windmill our hands down to the side here. You may need another block. You can hold onto your ankle. Just don't lean on your knee. We're going to come here, resting head to knee to this pose. Now, if you're having a hard time in this pose here, what you want to do is shorten your stance. There's nothing, when you first start out, you really don't want to over hyperextend yourself. So you want to just make sure that you have enough room where you can bend, where your knee isn't bending and you're not locking out your knees as well. So from here, let's turn ourselves down. We're going to drop that lower knee, coming down into a low lunge. Inhale, sending our hands up into the sky. We're going to clasp our hands, Charlie's Angel fingers. Exhale, coming into low lunge or crescent pose as we're looking back. Let's inhale, swooping those hands down to the floor, into the mat. We're going to curl our back toes, sending our feet up. We're going to come to the front here, dropping that right knee, bringing those left toes up. We're going to come into our Skandasana side squat. From here, we're going to inhale, bringing our hips up, placing our hands on the mat. If you can, walk your feet in. Exhale, coming down into our Yogi squat, Malasana. From here, we're going to place our hands right back down on the mat. This time, we're going to come over to the left side, sending our right toes up and curling up and coming into our side squat, Skandasana. Now, I think you have an idea of what we're doing here. So let's place our hands down on the mat. Let's turn our back foot down. Placing our back foot down, we're going to turn all our whole both of our feet facing to the left side, and we're going to drop that back knee here. We're going to inhale, hands up into the sky. Exhale, coming into your crescent pose. Excellent. Let's inhale, bringing our hands down, framing our foot on the mat, curling the back toes with our right foot, straightening up. We're going to come down into our head to knee pose. From here, we're going to turn that back right foot facing front. We're going to inhale those arms up into the sky. Exhale, coming into our triangle pose. Again, if you need a block, no big deal. Place the block by the inside of your foot. You're doing a wonderful job. And from here, let's inhale, turning that left front foot forward, coming into our 5-pointed star. Inhale those hands up. We're going to exhale, coming into goddess squat. Inhale, coming right back into prayer pose. Excellent. Let's do it again. So inhale, let's scoop those hands up into the sky, however you'd like to get them up there. I like to put my fingers when I call Charlie's Angels pose. But inhale, we're just going to exhale, sending our body over to the right side. Turning your head up if it's in your practice right now. Let's inhale, coming to center. Exhale, turning your body to the left and your head up to the sky if that is in your practice this evening. Let's inhale, coming back up. Exhale, dropping down into that goddess squat. Inhale, back into our 5-pointed star. Exhale, we're going to turn that right foot, coming into our triangle pose. And from here, we're going to inhale, bringing our foot forward, our left foot, turning towards the right as well. We're going to bend facing forward, head to knee pose. Remember not to lock out that knee. And from here, we're going to inhale, placing our hands on the mat for balance. We're going to drop our back knee. Exhale, coming all the way up with our hands into crescent pose. And from here, we're going to inhale, dropping our hands right back on the mat once more again. We're going to come up, turning our feet. Exhale as we come down, bringing those left toes up to meet our ankle. Skandasana. From here, let's inhale, placing our hands on our mat, bringing our bottom to the front. We're going to shift ourselves, coming over to Skandasana on the left, turning those curls of the toes up. Exhale. From here, let's place our hands back on the mat. We're going to turn towards the left, dropping that back leg. Placing our foot flat, we're going to bring our arms right up into the sky. Exhale, coming into crescent pose. Let's inhale, placing our hands down on the mat, curling those back toes. We're going to come back up into our head to knee pose. Do not lock out that front knee. Inhale, turning that right foot forward. We're going to exhale the right hand up into the sky, coming down into our triangle pose. Inhale, we're going to come on up, turning that back foot, coming into our 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess squat. Inhale, bring yourself and your hands forward. It's prayer pose. Excellent. One more time. We're going to inhale those hands up to the sky, clasping our fingers together. Exhale as we lean to the right, turning our head. Let's inhale, bring it up one more time. We're going to do another exhale, turning our head, looking up into the sky, past that left bicep. Let's inhale, exhale here in the center. Inhale as we lean over to the left side now, turning our head to the right, or up to that right bicep to look at the sky. Exhale. Let's inhale. Exhale one more time into this pose. Wonderful. Let's inhale, coming up. We're going to exhale. Really exhale. Let that sound out. Goddess squat. Yes, that feels wonderful. From here, let's come right back up, inhaling into our 5-pointed star. As we turn our right foot to the right, we're going to send our hips to the left. Exhale, sending our arm up into the sky, into our triangle pose. You're doing wonderful. Let's turn that left foot back as we turn our bodies to come into a pyramid pose, dropping your head to knee. From here, let's lengthen out that back leg, dropping the knee. Inhaling, we're going to send our hands up into the sky, clasping our fingers, exhaling, crescent pose. From here, go ahead and cradle that front knee. Go curl those toes. Let's turn to the front as we exhale, curling those back toes up into the sky as we come into Skandasana to the right. Inhale, we're going to bring our feet towards the front. Exhale as we drop our hips down, coming into our Yogi squat and Malasana. Now we're going to just sit here for a good moment. Let's get your balance. If you need to, you can go ahead and grab a block and place it under your bottom. But we're just going to hold here for a moment. I love this pose, the Malasana or Yogi squat. This is a good pose for grounding yourself. I often like to do this pose in meditation, or if I feel a little scattered, if I'm having a hard time going to sleep, I'll just kind of drop down into Yogi squat here and really get it going. Excellent. On your next inhale, let's place our hands onto the floor. We're going to shift our weight to the left side, curling up those right toes, coming into our Malasana, or Skandasana, onto the left side here. Excellent. Let's drop those back toes, turning our bodies to the left. We're going to drop that knee as well, inhaling our hands up into the sky, clasping, exhale, crescent pose. Doing good. From here, we're going to swing our hands down. We're going to lift up that back knee, maybe close your posture in just a little bit with your feet facing, unlocking the front knee, exhaling, pyramid pose. From here, let's inhale that right hand up into the sky, turning our back toes, coming up just a bit to adjust, sending those right hip back. We're going to come right down into triangle pose. Hold it here for just a moment. From here, we're going to inhale, bringing ourselves up, and that left foot forward, right down into 5-pointed star. Then we're going to inhale into our goddess squat. Exhale, Tadasana, prayer pose. Excellent. You guys are doing just wonderful. I hope you guys feel nice and warmed up now, but not too warm, just enough to kind of feel loose and supple and keep it moving. Because we're going to move right into our flow now. And I'm hoping this flow that we put together will help you to get into that restful, peaceful state. So while we did all of our standing, we're going to go ahead and come down into the mat. Come down any way you'd like. Easy peasy. We're going to end up here on tabletop on all fours. Now, it's important to be in proper alignment when we're in tabletop. So we're going to go over alignment just like we did with standing. You want to make sure your knees are about hip width apart. So again, it's just that fist. You can kind of put your foot down or your fist down to see what the distance is between the two of them. You want to make sure that your feet are straight behind you. You don't want your legs out like that. You don't want them in like this. You want them to be pretty parallel to each other on the floor. You want your hips to be located over your knees. And then you want your back to stay as flat as possible. As for your shoulders, you don't want your shoulders up by your ears. You want to just do the same process where you roll your shoulders back and down, sending your shoulder blades down your back. Okay, with your gaze, just keep it neutral and straightforward. We don't have to look anywhere in particular. You don't have to look up. You don't have to look down. Just keep it nice and neutral. It's almost like you want to keep your eyes at the end of your mat, if that's what you're thinking. So from here, start with a deep inhale. Let's round our back. As Barry just told you to flatten it. We're going to come into that cat pose. And then as we inhale, we can't take any more. We're going to exhale, dropping our bellies, arching our back, looking our head up to the sky, cow pose. Let's do that for 4 more breaths. So here we go. Inhale. And exhale through the mouth. Wonderful. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Let's inhale, curling from the pelvis and bringing your head and neck. Pushing your hands through the floor. Exhale, release. Let's just throw in another one, why not? Inhale, let's bring it all the way in, really pressing away from the self. And exhale, bringing everything back up. Wonderful. From here, while we're on our body weight, we're going to shift our body weight a little bit forward so that we're a little bit more on our hands. Remember, keeping your wrists under your elbow, under your shoulders. So we want to shift our body weight so that we're more on our hands and our left knee. And then we are going to kind of bring up that right knee. We're going to inhale, curl it, And exhale, pushing it out. And we're going to do that for 4 more breaths. So inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, push it out. And when you push it out, you want to make sure you keep your hips square. And you can achieve that by pretending that there's like a marble or a coin at the top of your thighs that you're trying to keep in the spot where you're moving. Now, when you push your foot out, you want to push it out so that it's nice and strong as if we're standing on a wall. So 2 more we have here. 1. Last one, we're going to bring it in, dragging ever so slowly. Exhale, pushing away all of that feeling. Wonderful. Now let's let the leg drop down for a moment. Let's get our balance. Realign if we have to. You want to make sure your hands are nice and steady on the mat. Inhale, we're going to turn our body and bringing our right hand up into the sky if it is in your practice today. Exhaling, we're going to come up into a semi-half moon variation. I call this a supported half moon. And we're going to hold here for a few more breaths. Now, if this is in your practice today and you're feeling it, you can stay right here. If you'd like, you can turn and face yourself to the sky. If that is feeling very good and you want to add a little bit more to your practice, I'm just going to move myself up so I don't hit my wall. You can turn yourself a little bit more, coming into a full wild woman. Just make sure you don't collapse in on yourself. Keep your chest nice and open. And keep breathing. Doing good. All right, depending on where you are. If you're in Wild Woman, let's come back up to that pose we had before. And we're just going to do a couple of breaths where we're just going to inhale, kind of scrunch. And exhale, sending yourself a little forward, lifting if you can. If not, no worries. Inhale. Exhale into half moon. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, half moon. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, half moon. And from here, we're going to inhale. Exhale, coming up. And all the way over. So we just dropped our foot down, turning this back foot out. Placing our hand on the mat, like a half triangle, if you will. I like to, if I have my block, just kind of place it down and turning, looking up to see that left hand. Let's hold on here for a moment. As for my front foot, I kind of like to pulse it up and down between kind of straight or kind of bent, just so I can get a nice feeling. All right, I'm going to move this to the side. Let's inhale. Let's turn our back leg so that it's forward, coming so that we have our foot into kind of an extended low lunge here. So let's grab our blocks if you need them, and we're just going to stretch out that front leg. I like to hold them up this way, but however works for you, it's totally great. So we're just going to hold this here. And remember to breathe. It's the most important part. Remember to keep your hips square as well and your leg behind. I have to keep telling myself as well. So if you hear me repeat it, it's mostly because of me. Keep breathing. Doing great. All right, from here, so we're already turned. I'm just going to pop these forward. I'm going to bend my front knee, lift my leg a little bit so I can just kind of slide myself back. So we're kind of in a plank here. Let's drop our knees. And from here, we're going to push ourselves back just for a moment, stretching out those shoulders. Coming forward, we're going to curl our back toes. Inhale, bending our hips up, coming to that downward dog. And then we're going to go ahead and lift forward with that right leg. Bring it back through. Just kind of do a low lunge here. If you want to pull it forward a little bit, back into that low lunge that we had a little bit earlier. All right, let's curl that back foot, lifting our leg up once more again. Let's come back down into all fours. So sounds good. Now that we've done a complete circle, let's do the other side. So from here, remember that good alignment again. We have our knees that are going to be hip width apart. Our hips are over our knees. We have our shoulders over our elbows, over our wrists. Our hands are spread out, fingers gripping the mat. Make sure all four corners of your palms are on the mat. And we're just going to inhale, dropping that belly, looking up to the sky. Exhale, curling. Inhale. Exhale. Wonderful. Inhale. Exhale. Doing good. Inhale. And we're going to curl again for an exhale. Let's do our last one here. Inhale, dropping the belly, filling it all the way up. And then exhale, curling the tail, coming into that cow pose. So now that we're here, this time, we're going to shift our weight over to the right side. I'm just going to slide over a little bit. Shifting our weight over to the back right knee. We're going to keep our weight balanced in the front. Let's bring up that left knee. Inhale, curling it in. Exhale, push away. Keep those hips nice and centered. We're going to do this 4 more times. So here we go. Inhale. Exhale, push. Inhale. Exhale, pushing that foot, pushing everything away. Inhale. We're going to exhale. We have one more time. Inhaling, bringing that knee right up into the chest. Exhaling, knee straight out. Very good. Now from here, if you remember, you can drop your foot down, and we're just going to inhale, twisting ourselves up into that side plank, bringing our hand into the sky. And again, if it is within your practice, you could stay right in the side plank today. If you like, you can bring up your back left leg, coming into half moon pose. Just going to hold here. You can even rest your foot on a block if you want to come into half moon pose and you want to give that a try today, just to feel your balance. And then after a while, you can see if you can do it without. It's a good balance pose. Remember, don't collapse in your shoulder here in the back. Keep yourself nice and strong. All right, depending if you have, if you want to go ahead and extend your practice, you can go ahead and turn yourself out to Wild Woman if you already haven't. Let's hang out here for just an extra moment for those of us who want to wild. Excellent. Let's bring ourselves all the way back into that half moon. If your foot is already on the ground, that's wonderful. Everyone, let's bring our foot down. We're just going to come through with a couple of knee tucks, if you will. So just tuck and inhale, coming down. Exhale, half plank or side plank. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Excellent. And from here, let's turn our back leg coming up. Exhale. We're just going to reach forward, bringing our right hand into the sky, just like we did on the opposite side. Excellent. All right. From here, let's turn and face the front side, coming into that lunge to help straighten out that leg. If you need your blocks, which I seem to do, hey, it is wintertime. We're all a little bit stiff these days. Let's come into that leg, that nice leg stretch. Wonderful. All right. Let's come forward here, coming into a low lunge. Let's place our hands down on the mat. We're going to do the same thing that we did before. Just slide our foot all the way back, curling that back toe. Let's send it into the sky. Come into that one more kind of a plank. Let's send our leg back up into the sky once more. We're going to inhale, bringing that foot down. Let's kind of hang out in downward dog for a little bit. Let's pedal out our knees and our legs. You can get that good hamstring stretch. Do that for a few more moments. Great. Let's slow down and drop our knees back to the mat. We're going to inhale in that nice tabletop pose. Inhale. And as we exhale, we're just going to drop our forearms to the mat, bringing our forearms down. We're here in this pose for a moment. We're going to inhale, exhale, pushing yourself back. Extend your arms out, keeping your hips into the sky. Head onto the mat if you need to, or onto a block. Extended puppy pose. And let's hold this here for a moment while we breathe. Let's take that last breath in. And as we exhale, let's bring ourselves right back into our tabletop pose. Inhale once more. Exhale, we're going to push ourselves down. I like to spread my legs a little bit wider so we can come down into our child's pose. You can rest your fists up on a stack and rest your hand on there, or you can rest your chin. However you like to take it. You can also take an extended child's pose. It is certainly yogi's choice, but we're going to hold out here for just a moment. Make sure you keep breathing. All right, let's bring our attention back to our body and come right back into our tabletop pose. So how are you guys feeling? I'm feeling pretty relaxed. I don't know about you guys, but let's finish up for this evening. We're going to start our cool down. We're going to find ourselves an easy seat. Doesn't matter how you get there. However you get into your easy seat position, perfectly good. From here, we're just going to make sure we spread the flesh of our sit bones out so that we are nice and properly aligned sitting on the mat. Again, I'm a very big stickler for alignment, so let's get our alignment in. While we are in crisscross applesauce, let's go ahead and extend our feet out, soles touching into cobbler's pose. That way we don't have to worry about switching our legs over later. Readjust your seat bones if you need to. And then from here, we're going to just make sure that we're sitting directly over our pelvis, pushing our ribs out so that we're not overextending ourselves. Let's roll our shoulders up And down, sending our shoulder blades down our back. We're just going to rest our hands here onto the sides. You can hold them into a mudra if you like, but we're just going to rest and breathe. We're just going to center ourselves. All right, from here, let's inhale, bringing ourselves up nice and tall. We're going to take our left hand, place it on our right knee, placing our right hand behind us. We're going to exhale, turning towards the right into our first easy seated twist. And hold here. With every exhale, try to see if you can get a little bit deeper. And with our last exhale, let's turn to the center. Exhale. Inhale nice and deep, filling up the belly. Placing the right hand on the left knee and the left hand behind you. Go ahead and turn your body as you exhale. Seated twist to lift. Hold here for a few more breaths. And be sure that you're really filling up your belly with your inhales and exhales. You want to calm our bodies. 2 more breaths. Last one. And on your last exhale, let's turn forward. Exhaling, facing front. Wonderful. From here, let's inhale. Nice and tall. We're going to exhale, bringing our body forward. Coming into forward fold. You can hold onto your ankles if you'd like, or to your toes. I like to give my foot a gentle massage while I'm here too. So let's hold here for a few breaths and breathe. Rubbing out your feet, kind of cracking your toes a little bit. Giving your feet a good massage. And don't forget your ankles too. That always feels nice. All right, from here, let's inhale ourselves back up to seated. What we're going to do next is extend our legs forward just a bit, and we're going to cross our legs over, stacking our knees up, and we're going to come into cow face pose. So let's take our hands. So when we have our legs in the Garuda, we're going to take our arms, cross them over our chest, and curl them towards each other, coming into prayer hands. We're going to hold it here for just a moment. Be sure that when you're in this pose, you're still sitting up straight. Don't lean forward. We're trying to get our hands to clasp to each other. So if you can get them into prayer pose, that's great. If not, hold them where you can. All right, let's loosen our arms and our grip. Shaking out our arms. Let's keep our legs the way they are. We're going to cross the other arm this time on the bottom. Inhale. Don't worry, we'll switch our legs here in a moment. We're just going to hold for a few. All right, let's exhale our arms out straight, wobble them around. Let's switch our legs around. So I have my right on top. I'm going to put my right on the bottom. I'm going to stack my knee over my left knee over my right knee, bringing my feet here. Let's take our hands out to the side. What you're going to do here, I'm going to turn around so you can see the back, what I'm doing. Taking our arms, we're going to take our left arm, turning it, coming up our back. Oh, I'm sorry, this is my right arm. My right arm. Then we're going to take the left arm, coming over and above. We're going to bring our hands to meet in the middle if they can touch. If not, come as close as you can. We're going to inhale, exhale. We're going to hold here. Make sure you're bringing that chest forward, not too far forward so that, here, let me turn right back so I can face you. Not too far forward that we're jutting our chest out and our rib bones, but we just want to keep it so that we can open up our chest. And keep breathing. The most important part here is to breathe. Excellent. Let's release here and switching our arms around. So that left arm is going to come up or back and up, and the right arm is going to come up and down. Excellent. Grabbing one if you can. Wonderful. Let's release our arms, shaking everything out. Let's release our legs, shaking everything out. Wonderful. Arms and legs, just give them a good shake. Great. From here, we're going to open our legs to the straddle of our comfort. As you can see, I am not very flexible in the legs, and that's totally fine. But from here, we're just going to try to sit up as straight as we can. We're going to inhale our hands up. Exhale, bringing our right hand into our lap, left hand over, coming into head to knee pose. If you can twist yourself up to the sky, that is great. And if this is only in your practice, that's totally great. And if it's in your practice even more, you can reach and grab your big toe with your peace fingers and stretch out really far. Keep breathing. Inhale, coming to center, switching sides. Exhale, here we go. And try not to crouch in on yourself. You want to make sure you keep that good, proper, open alignment. Very good. Let's exhale, coming to center. From here, we're going to inhale our hands up to the sky, turning our torso. We're going to go ahead and flatten ourselves out, grabbing our foot. If you need a strap, or I like to use a scarf, just place it around the ball of your foot, pulling yourself in. Make sure you keep that other leg engaged, but don't lock out your knee. Exhale, coming down, head to knee. All right, let's inhale, coming up. We're going to turn our chest facing our knee. Exhale, coming down. Placing that yoga strap around the ball of your foot if you need it. And like as usual, with every exhale, you want to go ahead and just release yourself even deeper into your poses. Keeping that other leg engaged. Doing a wonderful job. All right, let's come forward. Doing a great job now. We're going to go ahead, bringing our legs together. We're going to inhale one last time. Hands up into the sky. Exhale, coming forward, grabbing our foot for just a moment, our feet for just a moment. Toes and peace toes right into your big toe here. Okay, let's inhale, straightening ourselves up. We're going to exhale. Let's find our way to our back. However makes sense for you. We're going to exhale, coming down onto our back. From here, we're going to just take a deep reach overhead, stretching out our whole body, maybe arching your back a little bit, relaxing down. Inhale, Stretch out the last good stretch. Let's exhale, bringing our arms back to our sides, dropping our ankles. Let's come into our Shavasana. So as we come into our Shavasana today, let's take 5 deep breaths to relax our body. Into the nose, out through the mouth. 4 more. All right, and as we take our last breath in, exhale. Let's begin our resting period by meditating on what it means to be who we are and where we are in this moment. What it means to be in the present moment. Not to be in the future, not to be in the past, but let's meditate on where we are right now. Try not right now to think about if you're breathing too loud or if you're breathing too quietly or if you're breathing correctly. Just allow yourself to breathe. I know it can be fully difficult for us, some of us, to fully commit to not moving, to sitting still, to just breathing, and that's okay. You don't have to fully commit. If you find yourself just laying here and breathing, but you're getting distracted by your thoughts, just draw yourself back to your breath. Inhale, exhale. Just draw yourself back to your normal set of breathing. Just acknowledge your thought. See that it's there and let it go. Just a quick check-in. Are you still breathing? It can be easy to forget that part when in Shavasana. And why are we doing Shavasana, you ask? Because it's important. What I like to think the most important part of yoga. All right, as we're coming into our last moments of Shavasana, let's take 5 deep breaths to bring in our consciousness through the nose, not through the mouth. From here, let's invite movement into our body by wiggling our toes. Let's wiggle our fingers. Let's start gently rocking our head back and forth, maybe rotating our ankles and our feet, wiggling our knees, wiggling our body, our torso. All right, and keeping eyes closed if you can, let's gently roll to one side, either right or left. Cradling for a moment. Taking the last few breaths on your side. Let's push ourselves up. Come into easy seated. Eyes closed if you can. Adjusting. Inhale our hands up. Coming into prayer pose as we exhale. Softly flutter your eyes open. Become aware of the room. Wanted to say thank you very much for joining me this evening or today, whenever time it is that you are enjoying this wonderful yoga class. Thank you for enjoying it with me, and I hope it was as deep and relaxing as it was for me as it is for you. And as always, be the light that you see in the world. See the light that you are in the world. Thank you for joining me. I see and honor you. Have a good night. And I hope to see you next week on next week's Late Night Yoga, Thursday nights at 11 Pacific Standard Time.